Hello everyone, Ripple's Jack McDonald recently identified the three main obstacles preventing the tokenization of financial assets at this time. How soon can we really accomplish this? All of it boils down to resolving these particular issues. And pay attention, we need to examine some recent hot off the press information regarding SBI as well as the developments around XRP. Oh, and you should hear some new information about regulations that Congress just revealed. Before we conclude, we will address that. But let's listen to this one for now. I would say two things. Yes. First, your initial query. Just holding, huh? By virtue of its inherent stability, and especially when you examine specific stable coins that are controlled in a particular manner, such as ours, which we will discuss shortly, the biggest institutions will have our full confidence to employ them. Second, only to regulatory. Many institutions will be encouraged to come out and support stablecoin usage by clarity and tailwinds. Third, have the necessary infrastructure in order to bolster that. I do believe there is a danger, and it has been partially proposed here today that perhaps we might attempt to install this new financial operating system on the legacy rails. And I worry that it might actually limit our potential, or we might try to do it gradually and save money in the process. I do believe there is a better way we can still operate inside the system. Therefore, be brave and creative. Our goal is not to topple established financial structures. However, I do believe that there is a significant opportunity with this new technology in terms of what we can accomplish. Finally, I would want to point out that not all stablecoins are created equal, and that the gold standard of stablecoins is a stablecoin backed by the dollar. Our custodian is BNY Mellon, and all of our reserves are in very liquid assets. We leave the state of New York. We act as a fiduciary. We keep our clients' assets in bankruptcy, such as distant accounts, etc. We're going through the front door of every regulator and doing it in a regulated and highly compliance-first manner as the legislation continues to involve various jurisdictions, whether it's in the EU, where we'll obtain an EME license, or in a country like Japan, where we're partnering with SBI. Furthermore, I don't believe that we will face the same obstacles that others must overcome in order to seize the chance and attract the biggest organizations interested in joining forces with companies like Ripple. When you think about it, this is rather amazing, isn't it? Although there are many distinct technologies and use cases in the cryptocurrency industry, only a small number of businesses are truly receiving the VIP treatment he was referring to. Isn't that right? You have Venex, BlackRock, and SBI. Here we're discussing financial industry titans, and they're all opting to collaborate with XRP and Ripple. Folks, that isn't random, and I found this section to be very noteworthy. Although the widespread use of financial and tokenized assets is now increasing, a number of interconnected obstacles still exist. Let me quickly explain this. Uncertainty in the law and regulations is therefore one of the main problems here. Jurisdictional regulatory fragmentation continues to be the biggest obstacle. So take a moment to consider this. How do we truly get everyone on the same page in terms of vocabulary and terminology, so that value can easily and frictionlessly zip across boundaries? For example, how is it recorded and tracked when you sell something in Brazil versus Japan? These issues still need to be resolved. Integration with legacy systems comes next. This is the thrilling part. We're using R3, R4 and Chainlink to see things unfold in real time. They're working on these stuff in the trenches. But wait, the absence of interoperability standards is another obstacle. There are many tokenization platforms that use incompatible protocols, and the market is currently rather fragmented. Yes, we are dealing with a really serious mess. And look at this, expensive and unclear return on investment. This is a serious issue. Can these businesses really do this? Do they have the financial resources to expand, draw in the necessary talent, and continue operating long enough to succeed? To be honest, this is one of the main issues we continue to face with cryptocurrency. There are plenty of brilliant ideas out there, but this is what actually occurs. You're effectively creating castles in the air if you can't get people to accept your idea and the underlying technology isn't there. I now brought up operational and knowledge deficiencies. It's important to pay attention to that. Another point is that distribution networks and liquidity are limited. Allow me to explain this to you in a way that makes sense. I was looking through some data for a completely different video that I'm creating. As it happens, this information is the final piece needed to complete today's conversation. The enormous amount of money invested in bonds, real estate, and international stocks is depicted on the left. We are discussing the entire financial landscape in each of these industries. Now look at that small sliver at the far right. That is all of the tokenization that has occurred thus far. Take a look at these figures. Globally, real estate is worth $650 trillion. How much have we tokenized, you ask? Just 0.01%. Less than $20 billion is at stake here. Worldwide stocks, less than 0.001%. Less than 0.001%. Do you see the pattern? There is hardly anything to talk about. Therefore, we can't even have a real conversation regarding tokenization development just now. Here's what counts though. This change is undoubtedly in the horizon. The same thing is said often by those in charge of this area. The ball will roll quickly once it gets underway. The market won't be split awkwardly, with half sticking with the old rails and the other half using the new ones. It's going to be one explosive flip the switch moment, that's for sure. Take a listen. And what advantages do you see for the stable in these cross-border payments? Indeed, coins are the most revolutionary app for international payments. Consider what we have witnessed at Ripple, which has been in the payments industry since 2012. From the front row, we can observe how stable currencies are being utilized more and more, which is largely due to their round-the-clock nature, the capacity to transfer value without any friction. It has a stronger regulatory footprint, is quicker, and is less expensive. Once more, being subject to regulations like ours reduces or eliminates the majority of foreign exchange transactions. Error is decreased. Blockchain technology is used to create an unchangeable log. There are a dozen reasons why steady coin adoption is preferable, and we are currently witnessing its advantages in payments, particularly in the context of Ripple transfers. More recently, we have increased our efforts. We announced last week that we had acquired a firm called Rail, 10% of all stable coin payments. Today, the market is worth $183 trillion, and I believe that everyone agrees that stable coins will become more and more common in the international payments sector. We are therefore thrilled about that. We are thrilled to offer institutions that also require improved liquidity a one-stop shop for that kind of solution. We currently operate a premier brokerage and trading business. We have a custody business, so you start talking to corporate treasurers about how they plan to hold those assets. Therefore, we consider developing infrastructure to assist organizations in creating store moves and value exchanges. We are investing in the system from both an internal and organic development position, as well as an M&A one. It is likely that they are looking for a compliance company to acquire. Look, Ripple is undoubtedly developing a number of additional strategic plans in the background. And listen, I think that right now, not much is preventing Ripple from succeeding. However, they will become one of the most potent financial institutions on the planet once they manage to get these final elements, particularly in light of the fact that XRP's value will increase over time, plus that colossal 40 billion XRP cash they're clinging to. I mean, really, how much do you think that pile will fetch? Tobu Top Tours and SBI Group are collaborating to introduce prepaid tokens on the XRP ledger that can be purchased at nearby establishments like digital prepaid automobiles and converted into cash. This is noteworthy because the prepaid instrument industry in Japan is about $200 billion a year. So allow me to explain a few more information. The partnership between SBI and Tobu Top Tours is discussed in the article. Really, I adore that name. It's so much fun to say. Enormous, considering that the summit issue is $200 billion. Why is this advantageous for XRP and Ripple? Applications of the ledger in the real world. By focusing on regional economic zones, such as tourism attractions and sports communities, localization increases volumes. The program contributes to the development of sticky in-region spending, increasing the number of transactions on the XRP ledger. The article also discusses the